Hello everyone and welcome to this week's Cybersecurity News Roundup. I'm here to provide you with the latest cyber threats, data breaches and security updates from the last week so that you stay informed and protected in the digital world. Before getting to this video, don't forget to subscribe to this channel and like this video. So let's get started. Firstly, we have critical ColdFusion flaws exploited in attacks to drop web shells. Threat actors are taking advantage of not one, but two vulnerabilities in Adobe ColdFusion, and it's causing major concern for vulnerable servers. Researchers at Rapid7 have uncovered an alarming trend where threat actors are exploiting an access control bypass vulnerability, which is stated as CVE 2023-29298, alongside what seems to be a critical remote code execution vulnerability. So here's how it works. Attackers are skillfully bypassing authentication measures and remotely executing malicious commands to install web shells on vulnerable servers. CVE 29300, rated as critical vulnerability, serves as the gateway for these hackers to remotely execute commands. It's alarming because unauthenticated visitors can exploit it, targeting ColdFusion installations from 2018 to 2023 in seemingly simple attacks. While Adobe had attempted to fix the situation with a security update, Project Discovery, a cybersecurity research group, published a proof of concept exploit for the vulnerability. This reveals a weakness in ColdFusion's WDDX library, which handles data serialization. To combat this ongoing threat, Adobe implemented a denial list for the WDDX library to block the creation of malicious gadget chains. But the challenge persists. The latest out-of-band security update from Adobe, addressed as CVE 38203. Yet, Rapid7 found that the fix for 29298 can still be bypassed. Rapid7 warns that even if your system is in lockdown mode, the attackers can still exploit the vulnerabilities by combining CVE 29300 with 29298. Adobe has now confirmed that the fix for the CVE 29298 is part of the APSP 2347 update as the CVE 38205 patch. As this vulnerability is actively exploited by attackers, website operators are strongly advised to install the update immediately to safeguard their ColdFusion servers. I've got multiple security news from Microsoft. So firstly, we have Microsoft expanding cloud logging data for free after Exchange hacks. Microsoft is stepping up its game to help organizations worldwide to detect and respond to cyber threats more effectively. They are expanding access to additional cloud logging data at no extra cost, allowing customers to better safeguard their networks and accounts from potential breaches. This move came after Chinese hackers stole a Microsoft signing key, granting them unauthorized access to corporate and government Microsoft Exchange and Microsoft 365 accounts, putting sensitive email data at risk. The US government, acting swiftly upon detecting these intrusions, used Microsoft's advanced logging data to identify breaches and promptly inform the company. Until now, these advanced logging capabilities were exclusively available to customers who paid for Microsoft's Purview Audit premium logging features. However, this approach faced criticism as it restricted access for organizations seeking better visibility into cybersecurity incidents without an additional financial burden. The US CISA, Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, which collaborated with Microsoft to pinpoint critical logging data points that should be accessible to all customers at no extra charge. In response to these discussions and driven by recent cyber attacks, Microsoft has now made the premium cloud logging accessible to all customers for free, with additional features rolling out in September 2023. Microsoft's updated cloud logging capabilities empower customers to utilize Microsoft Purview Audit Standard to view detailed logs of email access and 30 other data points previously available only to licensed users. Moreover, the default retention period for Audit Standard customers has been extended from 90 to 180 days, allowing for more comprehensive historical data access during incident response investigations. The expanded logging includes 31 standard logs that were previously restricted to premium only customers. This expanded access enhances an organization's ability to monitor activities in Exchange, Stream, Yammer, Teams, and SharePoint Online. However, Microsoft Purview Audit Premium remains available to licensed users, offering even greater access to data, expanded API access, and the AI-powered Intelligent Insight forensic tool. CISA and the FBI have released a guide on monitoring and detecting APT, actively targeting Outlook Online, providing valuable insights for security and email administrators. Next up, we have hackers turn Microsoft Exchange servers into malware control centers. Microsoft and the Ukraine CERT have raised the alarm about a fresh wave of attacks orchestrated by the Russian state-sponsored Turla hacking group. This APT, also known as Secret Blizzard, Krypton, and UAC 0003, has been linked to Russia's Federal Security Service and has a history of targeting Western interests. The recent attacks specifically target the defense sector in Ukraine and Eastern Europe. These involves phishing emails with XLSM attachments housing malicious macros. When triggered, these macros initiate a PowerShell command which in turn creates a scheduled task as a Firefox browser updater. Deceptively benign on the surface, this task secretly downloads the delivery check backdoor, also known as Capybar and GameDay, into the device's memory. This malicious payload connects to the Turla threat actor's command and control server, eagerly awaiting instructions to execute further malware or wreak havoc. Notably, the attackers embed and launch these malware payloads from XSLT style sheets, demonstrating their sophisticated approach to evading detections. What sets Delivery Check apart is its ability to hijack Microsoft Exchange servers and turn them into command and control centers for the hackers. Using desired state configuration, a PowerShell module designed for automated server configuration, the attackers load a base64 encoded Windows executable, transforming the once legitimate Exchange server into a malware distribution hub. During the attacks, the threat actors also deployed the information stealing backdoor, which Microsoft described as a fully featured Secret Blizzard implant. This potent cyber espionage tool allows the hackers to execute malicious JavaScript, extract data from event logs and system file information, and steal authentication tokens, cookies, and credentials from various programs, including browsers, FTP clients, VPN software, and more. Particularly alarming is the Turla group's focus on exfiltrating files containing messages from the popular Signal desktop messaging application. This would grant the hackers access to private Signal conversations, along with documents, images, and archive files from targeted systems. As this new threat looms, cybersecurity companies are on high alert, with CERT UA sharing malicious samples to aid in detection efforts. However, the challenge remains, as only 14 out of 70 vendors on VirusTotal detected the submitted delivery check sample as malware, with this number likely to rise as the day progresses. In the topic of Microsoft, we have another news. A shocking cyber espionage campaign has recently rocked Microsoft's email infrastructure, executed by a Chinese nation-state actor dubbed Storm 0558. Cloud security company Wiz has shed light on the unsettling truth. The impact of this attack extends far beyond what was initially understood. The art of the matter lies in an inactive Microsoft account, MSA, consumer signing key, cleverly exploited by SROM to forge Azure Active Directory tokens. Initially believed to grant unauthorized access to Outlook Web Access and Outlook.com, this investigation reveals the far-reaching implications. Not only did the compromised key provide access to victim mailboxes, but it also allowed the adversaries to forge access tokens for a myriad of Azure AD applications. These encompasses all applications supporting personal account authentication such as OneDrive, SharePoint, and Teams, as well as customer applications utilizing login with Microsoft functionality and certain multi-tenant applications. For hackers, this key proved to be an unimaginably potent shapeshifter superpower, granting them unparalleled access to nearly any app as any user. Microsoft has diligently investigating the breach, attempting to ascertain how these hackers obtained the MSA consumer signing key and the extent of the cyber espionage campaign. This analysis provides some crucial insights as they uncover the Azure Personal Account version 2.0 applications relied on a list of 8 public keys, while Azure's multi-tenant version 2.0 applications with Microsoft account enabled dependent on a list of 7 public keys. The compromised key, present since 2016, was replaced by Microsoft sometime between June 27 and July 5, 2023, concurrently with the revocation of the MSA key. This raises concern as the compromised key, designed for Microsoft's MSA tenant, was also capable of signing OpenID version 2.0 tokens for multiple types of Azure AD applications. In effect, the breach enabled attackers to forge access tokens, infiltrating applications relying on Azure Identity Platform. The acquired private key could have been weaponized to authenticate as any user to an affected application, trusting Microsoft OpenID version 2.0 mixed audience and personal account certificates. The implications are staggering. Malicious actors potentially gaining immediate single-hop access to any email boxes, file service, or cloud account. As the gravity of this attack sinks in, Microsoft urges customers to investigate their environments using the indicator of compromise provided. Security logging availability has been expanded, aiding enterprises in managing an increasingly complex threat landscape. New critical Citrix ADC and Gateway flaw exploited as 0-day. Citrix has issued a warning to its customers last week, revealing a critical severity vulnerability in NetScaler ADC and NetScaler Gateway that is already being actively exploited by hackers. The company is urgently advising its users to install updated versions without delay to mitigate this grave security task. The vulnerability in question has received a severity score of 9.8 out of 10, making it extremely dangerous. If successfully exploited, attackers can execute code remotely without requiring authentication. To leverage this security issue in their attacks, hackers must target vulnerable applications configured as gateways or as authentication virtual servers. Citrix has observed exploits of CVE 2023-3519 on unpatched appliances, further stressing the urgency for customers to switch to updated versions that resolve the issue. Here are the recommended versions to safeguard against the vulnerability. And it is crucial to note that NetScaler ADC and Gateway version 12.1 have reached the end of life stage, making it imperative for customers to upgrade to newer product variants for enhanced security. Interestingly, this vulnerability may be linked to a 0-day vulnerability that surfaced on Hacker Forum in early July. Although details are scanned, timeline aligns with Citrix Security Bulletin. The 0-day allegedly allowed remote code execution and impacted versions up to 3.1 build 48.47. In addition to addressing the critical vulnerability, Citrix updates also addresses two other high severity issues. First one is reflected cross-site scripting vulnerability, and the next one allows privilege escalation to root administrator levels. While technical details are yet to be released publicly, organizations using Netscaler ADC and Gateway appliances must prioritize updating the system immediately. Microsoft Word documents being used as phishing lures to drop a dangerous malware called LokiBot on compromised systems. LokiBot, also known as LokiPWS, is an information stealing Trojan that has been active since 2015, primarily targeting Windows systems to collect sensitive information. The attack exploits two known remote code execution flaws, namely CVE 2021-40444 and CVE 2022-3090, to achieve code execution and infiltrate the system. The Word document carrying this malware is ingeniously designed. It contains an external Go file link embedded within an XML file, leading to the download of an HTML file that exploits Folina to deliver a next stage payload, an injector module written in Visual Basic, which then decrypts and launches LokiBot. To further avoid detection, the injector module has evasion techniques, checking for debuggers and virtualized environments. But that's not all. There's another sinister chain of attacks discovered in May. This one involves a Word document with a VBA script that executes a macro immediately upon opening the document. The macro acts as a conduit, delivering an interim payload from a remote server, which serves as an injector to load LokiBot and connect it to the command and control server. LokiBot is a formidable threat capable of logging keystrokes, capturing screenshots, stealing login credentials from web browsers, and siphoning data from various cryptocurrency wallets. It's essential to note that this LokiBot is different from an Android banking Trojan with a similar name. What makes this malware especially alarming is its long-standing presence and constant evolution. The attackers behind LokiBot continuously update their initial access methods, allowing their malicious campaign to find more efficient ways to spread and infect systems. Last up, we have news from Apple. Apple threatens to pull iMessage and FaceTime from UK amid surveillance demands. Apple taking a stand for data security and privacy. Recently, the UK proposed new legislative changes to expand surveillance powers, a move that could weaken encryption protections for iMessage and FaceTime services. But guess what? Apple isn't backing down. The proposed online safety bill aims to scan encrypted messages like iMessage for child sex exploitations and terrorism content. While the bill doesn't explicitly demand the removal of end-to-end encryption, it would essentially force companies to scan all messages, compromising users' privacy. Apple isn't thrilled about this idea. In fact, they warned that they'd rather stop offering iMessages and FaceTime services in the UK than compromise data security. This issue isn't new. Earlier this year, messaging apps like WhatsApp, Signal, and Viber urged the UK government to reconsider its approach, highlighting that the bill lacks explicit protection for encryption and could undermine users' privacy. Apple's strong stance on privacy is well known. They previously planned to flag problematic content in iCloud photos, but dropped the idea due to concerns about privacy and security. Now you might be thinking, wait, if every message sent to non-Apple devices is unencrypted, doesn't that leave room for government surveillance? Yeah, you're right. SMS messages aren't end-to-end encrypted, making them vulnerable to surveillance. The battle between encryption and tackling online crimes isn't new. Last year, WhatsApp sued the Indian government to block internet regulations that would have weakened encryption, and the case is still going on. Apple's commitment to user privacy sets it apart from other companies that rely on collecting user data for targeted ads. It's all part of their mission to be a privacy hero in the tech world. That's it from this week's cybersecurity news roundup. I'll see you all next week with security news and updates. Until then, stay safe, stay secure. Bye.